my Flosstube friends. I'm Christy. I'm the crosshatch quilter, and this is my buddy Gus. I sat down to film and he knew exactly what I was doing, and he came running over and wanted to sit on my lap. And he's all wet because he's been out in the snow. So we'll see how long this lasts. He wanted to cuddle and say hi to all the people. So, can we say hi? Can we say hi? But you don't need to adjust your screens. I know it's shocking that we're back in only 2 weeks time. That is unreal for us. But I wanted to get back here today and talk to you about stitching some. I hope that you all had a great holiday season and that the new year is treating you right so far. We had a great Christmas. My son came home with his girlfriend and we ate lots of yummy food. We had just a great time seeing each other, and I had so much fun reading through all of your comments on the last video of what everyone eats for their holiday meals. I got lots of great ideas, and then we probably made way too many things because I wanted to try some different stuff that I had never made before. One of the things we really enjoyed were the tamales on Christmas Eve, and then I made homemade salsa and guacamole, and that is definitely a tradition that I love. Christmas Eve is definitely tamales. I just love that. And a lot of you said the same thing as well, that that's what you have on Christmas Eve. And then on Christmas Day, I made French dip sandwiches, which I just slow roasted the beef in the crock pot all day. And then I made like sauteed onions and mushrooms. And then I did bacon wrapped shrimp, which was a crowd pleaser. We all really enjoyed that. And then I just made lots of cookies and treats, of course, which we always do. But a lot of you mentioned that your family doesn't care what you make for dinner as long as you have your traditional treats, your cookies. I always make sugar cookies and just an array of a plate of treats. So we really had a lot of fun. We had overate as usual. So I am excited to be back here today to show you my finishes for last year and what I want to work on for this year. Now last year was a little bit of, I wouldn't call it a rough year. There was lots of good points to it and lots of not fun points to it. We had 2 rounds of COVID. We had 2 surgeries. We moved twice. We have 2 puppies, or 2 dogs. It's been a busy year. But so I don't have as many finishes as I would have liked, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't a great stitching year. I love spending time, no matter what's going on, stitching. If it's just a comfort, right? Like, I don't know what I would do without my stitching. It calms my soul when I need it, but it also helps me be happy too. So it's just something that I always have to have in my life. And I know that you guys relate and totally understand that. Somebody's being very needy today. I think he's happy because his little sister is downstairs so that I can film, because she is a little bit loud. And so he's enjoying having me all to himself. So I wanted to show, like I said, I want to show you my finishes. I believe I have 8 small finishes and 6 medium to large ones. And so let's get started. I'm going to try to do this with him on my lap. He just keeps coming up and pawing me and he won't just go lay down. He wants to be held. And he knows I will hold him. I can't say no to him. Okay, so, and these aren't in any particular order. They're just as I have them laying down here on the table. The first 3 finishes are out of the book Keeper of the Pins by Brenda Gervais of With Thy Needle and Thread. And I have a couple more started of these. Probably have like an hour's worth of stitching left. I need to get those finished. But did the little sampler. And this cute little pin is from my friend Lori. And then the fabric on the back is all tomato themed. And I got this from Lucy from Farmer's Attic. And then the next one is the Sewing Bird. This one's probably my favorite. And some spool fabric on the back there. And then my sole is fed with needle and thread. And the tomato fabric on the back there. Or you just liking all this attention, huh? Or you just like it? Oh my goodness, what a zoo. I filmed the first part of this like 10 times, and then after that, when I started showing my finishes, he just won't leave. He wants to be held. So then I think you saw these last time, and that is Goodness and Plenty by Plum Street Samplers. Oh, you are so heavy. He weighs like almost 40 pounds. He's a big French bulldog. And then Hazel is just like this little thing. She weighs like 14 pounds. So holding him is a lot different than holding Hazel. Okay, so on Goodness and Plenty, I showed these to you last time. There's the little row of crows, Goodness and Plenty. And then the little crow pillow. Love that one. That one's probably my favorite. And then the sampler. Super cute. I'm excited to display those next fall. And then I showed this one last time as well, and that's Rudolph and Friends. And this is by With Thy Needle and Thread. And there's my finish on that. And I've had this displaying in my little tiered tray behind me, my, not tiered tray, dough bowl. So that one is super fun. I'm so excited to stitch winter and autumn smalls this next year. And then the next finish that I had was Lollies, Crows, and Candy Corn by With Thy Needle and Thread. And this is a small, but there's a lot of stitching in this one. And I fully finished it since last time I showed it to you. And I just put some silk on there with a safety pin with some buttons and a bow. And then on the back, or on the side, I did some trim from, oh, I can't remember where I got the trim from. Lady Dot Creates. And then just a little bit of gingham on the back, black and white gingham to match the front there. That is a super cute. I love this so much. That was a fun stitch. A lot of stitching though on that one. It is a small, but it's big. It's a biggie small. Okay, so then the next one I don't have the chart for, but that is Bounty Sampler, and that is by Plum Street Samplers. Love, love, love this one. I can't wait to get that framed so that I can get it displayed next year. And you're gonna have to get off my nap here soon. The next one is Paper Snowflakes by With Thy Needle and Thread. I definitely stitched a lot of Brenda Gervais With Thy Needle and Thread last year, which I love. And that is my finish on that one. Love, love, love that. I'll tell you about my 25th day stitch style plans for this year coming up. And then another finish, and I don't have the chart to show you on this one either, but this is And Heaven and Nature Sing, and this is by Kathy Barrick. And I finished this at the beginning of last year. Or I mean, yeah, like in January of last year. Absolutely love that one. I love them all. And then this one is Hands to Work by With Thy Needle and Thread. And I just got this back from the framer. Lori picked this up for me, and I got it from her when I went to Salt Lake a while ago. And I'm so glad that I persevered on this one. This wasn't like my favorite stitch, and I don't know why. I think that it's because there's a lot of thread changes, and the fabric is Weeks Dye Works, which is always a little bit of a challenge. It wasn't the new Weeks, it was the old. But now that it's framed and I have it up on my wall, this is one of my very favorites. And I'm really looking forward to finishing more non-seasonal pieces, year-round things for my house. Hi. And then, oh my goodness, he is so heavy. The next one is Jane Tyndall, and this is by Needlework Press. Cuss. And here is my finish on that one. And this is a biggie. That was a lot of grass and a lot of stitching. There's a lot of ghost bands in there that you really don't see very well up on the screen. But I was really excited to finish this. This was in honor of my grandma. Okay, Mr. Gustafer, I have to let you down for the biggest one. I can't hold it with you. Okay, say goodbye. He likes the attention, apparently. He loves his sister, but I think, sometimes wishes that he had more attention. Because we're always, getting after her for stuff. Training, I forgot how much work a puppy is. It's exhausting, but I think that any dog can be a good dog if you spend a lot of time training them, and that's where we're at, is we're just busy getting her trained up. And her personality loves to be worked with. She loves to train, and so that's a very good thing. I think that she'll be a good doggy, and we are going to breed her, I think, and she just has such good qualities for being a mom. So she's just always right in the middle of everything. I think that she'll do great. So then this is my last finish. This is Consider the Lilies by Heartstring Samplery. And I just got this back from the framer. Like I said, Lori was sweet and picked them up for me. And actually, I said that I got it from Lori when I went to Salt Lake. She picked them up for me, and then my dad went and picked them up from her, and he brought them to me out here when he visited. So I spent a lot of time stitching this in 2022. Absolutely love it. I'm so excited to have it up on my sampler wall. And I just feel like that was such an accomplishment. It is definitely the biggest thing I've stitched so far. I have one new finish to share with you today, and that is Santa Stops Here with a needle and thread. And I will insert a picture here of where I was last time. And I thought that I would have finished this by Christmas, but there was probably a good 4 or 5 days there I didn't get a stitch because of family visiting. But here is my finish. I finished this on January 2nd. And I had a little bit more left to go than I thought. There is 2 greens here in the border, and I don't know if you can even tell, but so I had to do the green all the way around the border. I finished the snowflakes all around over here, and then I had to do all of the masonry, so the bricks and the mortar on the house. So there is my finish. I have a sweet friend that is mailing me some ribbon to go on the wreath there, and I'll do the beads and the ribbon on the wreath at the same time. But it was so much fun. I absolutely was so excited when she released this. I had to stitch it immediately. So I'm excited to get that framed up on my wall for next Christmas. And then I have a new start. I have so much up here on my table, I don't even know where to put stuff. So if we hear a crash bang, we know what happened. But my Christmas Day start was Winter Rose Manor with my needle and thread. There's definitely a theme there for this last year. And I had started this several times last year when it first was released, and just couldn't decide on my linen choice. But I I had seen Lori's finish when I was visiting her last year, and she had stitched it on dirty linen, 36 count dirty linen, and I had some in my stash. And I had actually started it on that last year, or when I first started this, and the green didn't show up, but I got a different dye lot of, I think it was Olive or Oscar, and that was the ticket. So I'm stitching this with all of the called for threads. And the only change that I made was I'm switched out the white for grits instead of roasted marshmallow, because my roasted marshmallow was very yellow. But I'm using the conch that is for the house, and it's just a really pale peachy color, which I love. It almost matches my house color. And I have got this in my Winter Rose Manor bag, and here is my start. So I have almost the whole entire border done. I've just got to fill in these flowers right here, and then I'm working on the pot of flowers right now on the house. And as you can see, everything shows up really well. I wanted the linen to show up the greens and the reds really well, and I think that they do, but also the white and then this light conch color just really pops. So I'm really pleased with that. I think that I should be able to get this done in the month of January, which is my goal. And so many of you have messaged me and telling me that you are going to start this as well. And Sherry, the Colorado cross stitcher, I noticed she started it on Christmas Day with me, and we've had fun messaging back and forth talking about this piece. It is such a sweet sampler, and I love those cardinals. It is just, it's not a Christmas piece, it's a winter piece. Right, so as I went through all my plans, I've really had a lot of fun with the year 2023 so far. I just love the beginning of a new year. I've been going through my planner and making lots of plans. I'm using this Be in My Bonnet Lori Holt planner, and I absolutely love it. It has just the perfect amount of space to write down your personal goals, health, fitness, stitching, sewing. I've got it all in here, so I don't have to have several different planners. This is where I'm keeping everything. But one of the things that I did that was so much fun was, and I had a few squirrel moments in between, but was just going through my stash of WIPs. And so I wanted to go do a WIP parade today, but it is my version of a WIP parade. It's what I want to focus on for the year 2023. And in the past, I've focused on seasonal stitching, and I feel like I have a pretty good base now to have seasonal walls, which is what I wanted. I wanted to have a Christmas winter wall, then I have a patriotic wall, an autumn wall, a Halloween wall. And so now I really want to focus on a sampler wall, and that will be in my front room. So I think that my focus that I want to spend most of my time stitching is with my samplers and with seasonal smalls for the dough bowl. And when I say seasons, I'm going to focus on autumn, not Halloween, but just autumn, and then winter smalls this year. And a couple plans in between there. Some year-round smalls. I really enjoy stitching a big sampler at a time and a medium sampler and then a small. That just is how my brain works. It works really well for me, and that's what I've been doing for the last several months, and I've really enjoyed it. So I think I'm going to stick to that plan. And let me show you my samplers that I have chosen to work on for this year. Now, I'm sure that I will not finish all of them. but I want to work on all of them. So I'm not telling you that I'm going to finish all of these, but it'll be fun at the end of the year to see how many got accomplished. But I keep my WIPs that I am not working currently on in this box, and I keep this in my sewing room. And then the WIPs that I am currently actively stitching for that week, I put out here in my stitching chair. So I wanted to go over the things that I have kept out, and I've got a project bag for each one of these projects. I have many more WIPs than this, many. I knew that if I didn't focus and break it down to a number and an amount that I think that I can at least not get everything done on this list, but work on everything, then, you know, as time goes by, we'll whittle things down. You know, you do that with debt as well. You focus on a smaller amount, and then as you get that done, then it snowballs and you can accomplish a lot more. So that is the way I'm going to attack my WIPs this year. Some of the WIPs that I am going to show you, I didn't even touch last year, and so my goal for this year is to touch and stitch on everything that I am showing you. This first one, I absolutely am so excited to work on. I think it's going to get worked on after I finish Winter Rose Manor, and that is Mary Bars by Stacy Nash. And this just has like a February Valentine's feel to me. It has all of the yummy pinks and like burgundies in it. And so I think that I'm gonna work on this. Like I said, as soon as I finish Winter Rose Manor, I'll pick this up. And I do not have very much progress on this. I know why I stopped stitching on it is because I realized that I messed up on the border, but I didn't. I mean, I'd already started working on this pastoral seam down here. I just added like, I don't know, 4 or 5 stitches on my border. So that will be the first thing that I do, is try to fix that. I think I'm just gonna add the length over here and see if I can get my border to match up. Because if I unstitch it, then my seam at the bottom won't work. So that's my first thing I'll do, is work on the border and get it to be where it needs to be. And then of course I'll have to fudge it inside. But this piece has a lot of wiggle room. There's a lot of blank space there. So I think it's gonna be fine. I think it'll just be something I'll have to work on. But I started this after I'd seen Carol Saltbox and Nicole Needleworks stitching this a few years ago, and I'm anxious to get back to this. It's one of, like, when I was going through my samplers of things, you know, I put a lot of them aside that I have started. I'm like, if I only had 1 year left, if I had only 1 year left to stitch, what would I want to work on? And so that's what made the cut, is just my very, very, very top favorites for this year. Life is short and you just never know. And so we'll whittle these away, and my goal is to not start any samplers in the year 2023, except for one. I've got one, and I will show it to you that I for sure am gonna start. Now, if there's something that amazing comes along and I like it better than something that's I'm working on, we'll see. You know, you never say never, but that is my goal, is to just, I love every single one of these WIPs, and I'm gonna just focus this year on them. I talk a mean talk, don't I? We'll just see if I can walk the walk. So this one I am stitching with my good friend Lori, and this is Anne Uffentel, 1835. I love this. We started it together at her house, and we were watching My Fair Lady, and this is one of my very favorites. So each one of these samplers I like went through and kind of jotted down in my planner what month of the year or months I'm going to plan on working on them. And this one just is like such a summer piece to me, because of all the flowers. It is just such a happy colored sampler and very spring and summer. So I'm stitching this with all of the Avera Soie d'Alger. Love this project. This is one of those projects where it's with my favorite silk, and it's my favorite linen is, one of my favorite linens is definitely Extrude Design linens. And so here is my progress so far. I've got a lot of the border flowers that need to still be done, but I've got the actual vines of the border done, and it all met up. So really, I'd say I'm about a third, maybe not quite a third done with that one. So I don't know if it'll get finished this year, but it is definitely going to get worked on. Spring and summer is where I think I'll spend a lot of time working on that one. And I'm going to put these back in their bags as I go, or this will be chaos. Okay. The next one, this one is shameful that it is not done, and life just happens, and but this one is one that I was stitching with my friend Yvette and Lily, and our goal was to have it done by August of last year. I'm trying to find the cover sheet to show you, but this is Anne Rayner 1830, and this is Threads Through Time and is an out of print chart. I'm really sorry. I always hate showing you out of print charts because it's, you know, I hate it when I want something, can't have it. This is being stitched with all of the DMC, the called for, and I'm stitching this on 40 count Creme Brulee by R&R, and that's where I'm at. If I would have known now how hard it is to do over one stitching fill in. So when you stitch over one letters, no big deal. It's not that big of a deal on 40 count, but the over one fill in is a beast and is definitely what has held me up on this one. This is a tight 40 count. I sometimes even, I should count it out. I swear that it's 46 count. It is just a tight weave. But I do love this, and I'm definitely gonna work on it. This one I have jotted down for like in the spring and summer as well, because they're just such fun colors for that time of year. They're just happy colors. Okay, this next one I love. So I've talked to you in the past about that I want to put a wall in my bedroom of samplers, and this is the colors of my bedroom. So I'm stitching this with Lori, and this is The Winter Has Passed by Blackbird Designs. And when this one is finished, then I will just start another one that is you know, my bedroom colors, so that I can always have one going, and eventually I'll have a wall in my bedroom of samplers. So this one is stitched with all the called for threads on Oak by Picture This Plus. So this one's not quite half done. Excuse me, I gotta get a drink. So I'm excited to get back to that. I'm assuming that this one will be, well, I have this one jotted down for a spring finish. And that one I will shoot for a finish on when I pick it back up. So probably March, April, work on that one. This next one is going to be a fall. I'll probably work on this in August, September, and that is in my Autumn Love bag with fabrics from Lori. And this is Autumn Love cross stitch. There is the chart, and there is a matching quilt I had some questions on this the last time I showed it. It is a free pattern that is on her blog. She does all of her applique quilts on her blog, and you have to just purchase the simple shapes. And if you get onto Fat Quarter Shop's website, I've noticed they still have a little bit of Autumn Love fabric, but you could definitely use all of Lori's fabrics. They're interchangeable, and they would be beautiful in any of her lines that she's done. I think I saw somebody recently making it with her Prairie line of fabric, and it was really pretty. I'm working on the quilt, and I need to finish that. My goal is within this year to finish it. So there's my progress on this one, and this one is being stitched on 36 count cream and sugar by Fibers on a Whim. And I'm using all of the called for DMC on that one. And I want to, I don't know if I'll finish that one this year, but I want to finish. That one's gonna be when I pick it up, I'll go for a finish, but I don't know, it's a big sampler. It's a lot of stitching, but it's easy stitching and very enjoyable. Absolutely love that one. Okay. This next one is another one that is shameful. Absolutely shameful. It's not done. I have no excuses other than this one has a lot of over one stitching. So I have this one in 2 bags. The first bag that's big is from Rika of House of Stitch and Stash. And if you haven't watched her Flosstube, you should. She does gorgeous stitching. She has a vast rainbow of things that she stitches, different subjects of stitches. Like she stitches dimensions, she stitches mirabilias, then seasonal stitching, samplers. I love her stitching, and she also is a quilter. And this is Anniversaries of the Heart by Blackbird Designs. Then I have the linen in a bag I made. This is Blackbird Designs fabric. And here is my progress. And this one I'm gonna go for a finish this year. I only have a block and a half left of actual like house stitching. But then there is lots and lots of over one that I need to go back and do. And that is, you know, when you go sit down to stitch, sitting down to stitch over one is never is never what I want to do, but it's not too bad. It really isn't. I think the biggest holdup on this one is because you have to chart the stitching. It's not like you just sit and look at the pattern. You have to actually chart the stitching if you want to personalize each block, which is what I'm doing. So I have this block to finish, and then let's see, January, February, I think it's April's block. And April's block has a lot of lazy daisy stitches in it. It's this one. So all these little stitches that are all over the trees and flowers. So I'm gonna say that one has to go for a finish. I just need to get my big girl pants on and do my over one like I know I'm supposed to. I want that one up on my wall so bad. So I know that will be my drive. And then this next one is Autumn at Hawk Run Hollow by Kathy Barrick or Carriage House. And you've all seen it. I've shown it a million times. I hardly ever work on it. I think what I need to do is devise a plan, and my plan right now is I'm going to try and work on it on Fridays, and then on the 13th of each month, and then the 30th and 31st if that month allows that. But I just need to devote the time, because if I don't, then I'll never work on it. And this is being stitched with the Shepherd's Bush thread conversion, And if you want their thread conversion, they still sell it. You just call them up and order all the threads through them. I think I already had the chart, so I bought my linen and threads through them. So this is something I copied Lori on. She had started this and I'd seen it up camping, and I was like, well, I need to stitch that immediately. I had started on a 40 count piece of linen with the DMC, and I'd stalled out on it because I wasn't happy with it. So when I saw Lori's, then I decided that I would restart it. And so here is my restart. And this is on 36 count straw by Weeks Dye Works. And I still need to finish this second block, but the topper and the first block is done. And then I did some of just the outline squares so that I could get down and work on this apple block with a pig. But I really want to get some work in on this one. I don't think it'll be a finish in 2023. That's not my goal. My goal is just to work on it. And if I can get like 3 blocks done this year, I will be happy with that progress. So, and it's one of those that I want up on my wall. I just love fall. And so if I don't work on it, it'll never get done. I mean, obviously. So I just need to, I need to do it. And I enjoy working on it. I think the reason, my personality is like an all or nothing type personality. And I think that because it's such a big sampler, it's been so daunting to me in the past. And I just need to break it up into chunks and realize that if I work on it on Fridays or I work on it a couple days a month, that it will eventually get some progress. So that's the goal. And this next one, like I can tell you each project why they haven't been worked on, why they're not done, what my challenge was on. And definitely, it seems like if they have a little wrinkle in my stitching, then when I say wrinkle, I just mean if there's a hiccup on something, then I just like chuck it aside. And I'm like, no, this one is Martha Pudsey by the Scarlet House. I'm definitely working on this year. And this is like a fall and winter type seam to me. I think it's because the border looks like Christmas lights or candies. And I'm stitching this with all the called for silks, which are MPI. And I'm stitching this on a piece of Vintage Autumn Gold, 36 count. And I know that the reason why I haven't worked on this one is because I have unpicking to do. I had started originally Shores of Hawk Run Hollow on this piece, and that's the ship, I believe. So I need to unpick that. And when I do a stitch like this, I like to do the border first. And so I was just lazy and didn't want to unpick it, and so I haven't worked on it. So I need to do that. But I love this project. This linen is one of my very favorite linens. I love Vintage Autumn Gold, and you really can't find it anymore. It's one of those elusive linens. I just never see it. And everything that you stitch on it just looks amazing on it. It's good for like fall pieces, but also samplers look really awesome on it. All right. The next one, I've got this in a Blackbird Designs fabric bag. I keep forgetting to show you my bags. So there's that one. Martha Pudsey is in another Blackbird Designs fabric. These are all old lines. They're out of print. Okay, this next one is Loose Feathers, and it's the summer, fall, and winter. And I don't know where spring went, but it's just the 3 seasons. But I still love it. I love those birds, and I love the alphabet on there. I'm stitching this with the called for linen, which is a 32 count. There's the chart. It is Irish cream 30 count, and that is probably why I haven't worked on this one, because it calls for 2 threads. But there is my progress on it, and again, this one I would like to finish this year. My goal is to just stitch it in the season that is on the chart. So there's summer, autumn, and winter at the end. So I'll stitch that one season by season. I'm so excited. The only bad thing about doing these WIP parades and going through your stash is like I've been so good and so focused on my stitching lately. Like I only have my 3 samplers out that I work on, or my 3 projects. I have a large, a medium, and a small. And I just keep those out, and I keep all these others locked away. But then as soon as I go through a WIP parade, I'm like, well, now I want to work on that, and I want to work on that. And my squirrel tendencies it's been hard to keep them tamed. This is another one, Blackbird Designs fabric. And this little keychain is made by Lori's daughter. I absolutely love that so much. And this one is definitely going to be one of my focus pieces for this year. And I have this one slotted to work on in the spring. And this is Rachel Howells by the Scarlet House. Oh, love this one. Again, has a story as to why it wasn't worked on. I'm stitching this with all the called for silks, which are NPIs. That red is so pretty. So this one I messed up on the border, and the border is not just like a vine that you can stitch and call it a day and then fill in flowers later. It is a very intense border. Well, I had shorted it by 1 stitch, and I was trying to figure out how to fix it. So on all of these projects, I sat down last week and went through them and tried to figure them out. This one, I know that I just need to extend it, and so the grass by under the house only would have 2 stitches if I left it, and the chart calls for 3. So I am unpicking these flowers right here, and then I'm just adding to it. I'm making the change right here instead of up here, is where I messed up on the border. So I'm going to fudge it, but I know how to fix it now. And really, if I know the answer, that's usually what will get me going on something again. This one I am stitching for my daughter. This is her very favorite sampler. And so I really want to focus on this one and get this one as a finish for this year. She keeps saying, Mom, I know you were working on a sampler for me, and I haven't seen you working on it. No, she's very patient, but I know that she'll be excited. When I pulled it out the other day and showed it to her, she got excited, so I definitely need to make it a focus piece. This one is in my Laundry Baskets fabric bag by Adita Satar, and it has this bird on it. This is His Eye is on the Sparrow by Heartstring Samplery. Huge, huge piece. I started working on this with my friend Christine with Hollis Hands Creates, and we were working on it on Sundays, and I just set it aside for the holidays. But I am excited and ready to get back to it. And this is my Sunday stitch. And my only problem when I pull out a Sunday stitch is I don't want to work on it only just one day. I want to work on it multiple days. But Sunday is usually the day that I have the most stitching time. And so it really does even out if you just have a 1 day progress on it. So this is being stitched on Heritage, I think it's called Heritage, by Picture This Plus, and that is my progress so far. So the last time I picked it up, I made sure that I did the border and got that touching, and you know, that's all worked out, and that always makes me feel better. So now I can just go in and do the fill-in greenery and the flowers. And then I did the words across, so that now I have a base. I'm going to start working on this house right here. I'm changing the house color. I have seen several people do this, but the one that comes to my mind right now is Michelle with Cozy Egg. She's another Flosstube channel you should be watching. I love her, and I love her intentional stitching and her just the methods that she has. But she changed this house color to the mulberry, which is like a rustic brownish red, and that is what I'm going to do, is change it. So then the house doors are the mulberry. I'll change those to probably that tan color that the house is. But I'm excited to get back to this. I love these colors. It's fun to have a Sunday stitch to me, and I love the meaning behind this piece. So I don't think that this one will be a finish. I'm just planning on working on it, but it will definitely get love. If you don't work on it, it will never get finished. So just gonna get I want to just see progress on that one this year. This next one, I would like to finish it this year, and that is Mary Carr by Needlework Press. I showed this to you last time, and I'm stitching this with mostly all the called for threads. I made a couple changes on the reds, but I'm doing the overdyes. And I love the way that the overdyes look on this. It really, the fading and just the diversity in the threads really makes this look quite vintagey or old. I'm stitching this on Creme Brulee 36 count by R&R, and I'm changing the verse up top to one of my favorite scripture hymns, and I am dedicating this one to my great grandma, and I'll talk about her when I work on it. This one I am planning on working on in the summertime because of the tomato plant on the front. And like I said, going for a finish on this one. I have some lofty goals, don't I? We all do though, right? Like you can't, what's the point in making a goal if, you know, I just want to focus on these samplers, and I'm not going to start anything else until September, which is my birthday, and I'll show you which start I would like to do for that. And then this is the current sampler that I'm working on. I work on this one every month. I'm going for a finish on it, and I'm stitching this with Yvette and Olivia from Pumpkin Hollow Quilts and Becky for Socks for Mom. Elizabeth Furness from Hands Across the Sea. Love her. She is a big, big sampler. I don't know if it was per stitches or what, but Becky was saying that this is bigger than His Eyes on the Sparrow, but I don't think it's per count. I think it's stitching count wise. But I'm stitching this with all of the called for Avera Soie silks, Soie d'Alger. And again, this is on Baby Sheep, which is Extrude Designs fabric. I think I just heard the garage door open. I think my husband's home. So I haven't stitched on this since the last time I saw you. Our January homework assignment, which I love because then it gives me a goal and I can meet it and then I feel fabulous about it. We are stitching this tree with Adam and Eve this month of January. And then I have a little bit of fill-in left to do. But I'll just do that here and there. But the plan is to get this tree done. I think Yvette is probably pretty close to already having January's homework done. She's always right on it. And she's such a good group stitching leader. She keeps us in line. And I'm so excited to be stitching that with them. That is most of so those are all the samplers that I am planning on working on this month or this year. And now I have a few smalls. I'll grab them really quick after I clean up. Okay, I wanted to show you some of the things that I for sure know that I want to start this year that I have lined up. This one I want to start in September, hoping that I will get several of the samplers I just showed you done before then. That way I'll feel good about starting another reproduction sampler. But I have this housed in my Blackbird Designs fabric bag. Debbie's Stitching on Instagram made this. I love it. And the sampler calls for 100 threes. So that's some of them. I've still got some on order, but I love that they just are visible right there in that vinyl pouch. And this I had to purchase after seeing Carol Saltbox Stitcher and Nicole with Nicole's Needlework starting this. And if you want to see some amazing, beautiful progress on this, Anita with Royal Unicorn Whisper on Instagram has been stitching this, and it is absolutely inspirational. This is Alice Clark by Cross Stitch Antiques, and it's hard to see. The picture isn't the very best, but it is an absolutely gorgeous sampler. It is huge. It is huge. It calls for 46 count Old Sheep by Extra Designs, and then the 100 threes by Averswa. Here is the linen, and I'm planning on a September start. That's going to be my reward if I get a bunch of these samplers done. So there's my first plan. And then I definitely want to start this. First of all, let me show you my bag. Got this in my Lori Holt bag. This is her Farm Girl Vintage line. And it's got a tractor zipper pull on there. Little baby chicks fabric. And then I have all the threads in my little zipper bag that is Leather and Lace by Kathy Holden. So let me show you the chart here. This is by With Thy Needle and Thread, and you can get this chart from Dying to Stitch, and it is called Every Opening Flower. And I don't know if it is an exclusive to them, but that's where I ordered my chart from. And I'm going to stitch it on a piece of Winter's Brew with the called for threads. So this will definitely be a spring start. I am so excited to start that. And this goes into the medium category of stitching. Another one I would love to start. I kind of want to do like a summer wall that isn't patriotic. I don't have a lot of pieces, but these can be year-round as well. This is Humming of the Bees by Blackbird Designs. And I have this in a bag. My good friend Sis made, she is, I'll put her Instagram below, but it is Vintage Cecilia. And she is on Instagram. And then she made me a thread bag for it as well. I have all my threads in. And then it doubles as a thread keep as you're stitching with the batting. So there is all the called for threads. So I want to start that this year, Humming of the Bees. I don't know if I will get to it or not, but I would love to start that as one of my very favorites. This is another one. I don't know if I'll start it, but I really would love to stitch this for my bedroom. And if you go to Brenda Holzman on Instagram, she has stitched this in a blue thread on a cream linen, and that is Quaker Seasons of Friendship. This is an out of print chart. I've had it forever, ever. I've started it. And then after I decided that I wanted to stitch a sampler wall on in my bedroom after seeing Brenda's. I think that that's the route I'm going to go. But I'll show you my little tiny start. This is with red thread, but I think I'm going to unpick this and find a nice blue thread. So just a tiny little start. But this is 36 count creme brulee by R&R. And I would love to, like I said, restart this with a blue thread. I just don't know when that will be. This is a big, big sampler. I think that maybe my plan will be is one day when his eye is on the sparrow is done as my Sunday stitch, that might take its place. I really want that up on my wall one day. Another want to that would look great in my bedroom, it's the right colors, is Spring at Hollyberry Farm by Stacy Nash. And I've got it all kitted up and it's just ready to start. I actually have kitted up with 2 different linens. This is Creme Brulee by Tabby Cat. And then this is a cream by Lakeside Linens. I can't remember the name of it, but there's all the called for threads. And I love all of Stacy's sampler scenes. Like I said, I don't know if it'll be started this year, but it is one that is high on the list that in the next couple years it'll be started. This is one I for sure want to start this year. This is a small. I'm going to take it out of the package because it's hard to see. This is by Stacy Nash, and it's just a little sampler housewife, and it's called 4 in 20 Blackbirds Pocket Roll. Love that. And then I started this series a couple years ago and I stalled out on it, but I want to get these finished this year. I said this last year. I never even worked on them once, but that is all of the Summer Schoolhouse lessons in Abecedarian by With a Needle Thread. So I've got one pillow done, and I've got a little teeny tiny start on the second piece. I mean, it's not even worth showing you, but I'll show it to you. So that's the lady. This is just the little bird, but the lady goes on this one. So I would really like to get these done this year. And then on the 25th day of each month, Lori does the 25th day stitch sal, and I've really been thinking about what I want to do to join in on that. And I think that I'm going to stitch Blackbird Designs stockings on the 25th day, and maybe rotate it with Prairie Schooler Santas. But if I focus on something small, then, you know, one day a month, you know, a little bit of progress on something small adds up. So that is my plan for that. And I think that that is it. I've got one more I wanted to show you that I really wanted to do. I don't know when I'll start it. I might start it when Winter is Past by Blackbird Designs is finished. This would go in my bedroom. And this is a 9-part series from Blackbird Designs. You've seen it before, I'm sure. But I put this all on one piece of linen and probably hang this above my bed. But that is something that Anniversaries of the Heart should be finished before I start this. So it's fun to dream and you know what your future plans are, even if it is a year down the road before they get started. So thanks for letting me share those with you. Last time I did a giveaway for Winter Rose Manor, and the winner on that is Rita Sokol, S-O-K-O-L. So Rita, if you will message me either on Instagram or email me, and I'll put my email address below, I'll get this mailed out to you. And then I just have a little bit of Christmas. I wanted to show you what I got for Christmas and a little bit of Happy Mail. So I got some fun Happy Mail from Fat Quarter Shop that I absolutely love. I have been using this, it's called the Unstitcher, and it is by Lori Holt of Be in My Bonnet. And it is just perfect because it has a little handle, and this is just a needle. But you know how when you're unpicking and you just have to hold on to that needle to unpick, it just is nice to have something with a little bit more, you know, something substantial to hold on to. And I had to use this week, and it is fabulous. So go and grab yourself one of those. They are awesome. The Unstitcher. And then, oh my heck, this is so cute. This is the Chicken Club Enamel Needle Minder. And there is a stitch along this year for Lori's chickens. Each month they really will have a new chart of all of the chickens that were in her quilt. So it goes along with her quilt that she appliqued last year. I absolutely love this so much. It's so cute. I'll probably put this in my farm bag. And then it's always fun to show you fun stitching related gifts. So Lori sent me an absolutely amazing package of love in the mail. When I couldn't go because of the snowstorm to visit her in person, she mailed me my Christmas, and it was full of treats, and oh my goodness, we've been just having snacks all week long. And I'm going to put this in one of my project bags and put my floss in there. Absolutely love these bags. And then she sent me a ton of charts. The first one is Merry Christmas by Blackbird Designs. I love that. And then she sent me some Prairie Schooler Santas, which is perfect because, like I said, I want to alternate between stockings, the Blackbird Design stockings, and Prairie Schooler Santas for the 25th Day Stitch Sale. And I didn't have any of these. So perfect. She stitched this one last year, and I love it so much. That's probably the one I'll start with. And then this next one is Pomegranate Alphabet. This is by Happiness is Heartmate. Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely love that sampler. And then the last one is by Erica Michaels, and this is the Christy Barron sampler. Barron. I love this so much. And then I've been playing in my planner, so this was so perfect. She sent me stickers, and these are my Happy Place stickers by Be in My Bonnet, Lori of Be in My Bonnet. And then her calico crafting paper, and these are so fun to decorate your planners with. And it is all of her fabrics, but on paper. So, and then she sent me a little zipper charm. I'm so excited, so spoiled, but I thought that would be fun to share that with you. I hope that you guys all are having a great January, and you've been making all the plans and just getting lots of stitching time in. I'm gonna hibernate, I'm sure, for the next couple months and enjoy some stitching. Until next time, happy stitching, everyone.